Are you saying that having sex at 12 is good?
I'm saying I had sex at 12 and look at me.
It's none of our business. 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 It's none of our business.
Hey, Monica.
Hey, Amanda, how's it going?
It's good. Are we going to do the introduction to our podcast? Like, should we tell people what they're listening to?
Why? What do you mean? Everyone already knows.
Thanks for tuning in to the It's Really None of Your Business. I keep saying the wrong name. It's Really None of Our Business
I know I do
podcast.
that too. Thanks for tuning into the It's Really None of Our Business podcast.
With Monica and Amanda. I'm Amanda.
And I'm Monica, and we often don't know our names or the name of our podcast.
We just have to like keep saying it over and over again to like get it in our heads.
Yeah.
What does that say about us that we don't know the name of our podcast?
You know what I think the thing is, Amanda, is that we have so much important stuff rattling around in our head that it's just...
Yeah, it's just something not... So you're saying the podcast isn't important.
Saying you're not important.
Oh, God. You don't mean that.
Here we go again.
Okay, so what's going on this week? I have something interesting
Oh,
going
cool.
on.
Tell me, what's going on?
My mom is turning 70.
Well, that's a big deal.
It's a big birthday.
Wait, before we talk about your mom's birthday, did she do anything for her birthday this year?
Well, no, because of COVID.
Oh, and how does she feel about turning 70? Have you had that discussion?
I haven't really. Like, I think she's fine with it. She's a pretty, like, her body is like a young 70. She doesn't seem 70 at all.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
she still, like, is moving around a lot. And, you know.
Like, I don't know. I think that 70 would be a big deal. You know, I always thought that turning 40 was like, oh my God, now I'm a grown up now. I have to act like a grown up. Did you have any of those feelings at 30, 35?
Not 35. I just turned 35 and I did have that. Like 30, I was like, whatever, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm on pace. I feel like I'm doing good with my life. But 35, I'm like, what am I doing with my life? I know I'm fine. Like 35 is not that old. So I feel good. But like part of me is still like, when you thought about your life when you were younger, 35 was like, well, you're going to know what.
Yeah, you know what you're going to do when you grow up.
100%.
Right?
Like Colton's like, oh, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up, Mom. And I'm like, that's fine. I don't either. Like, don't worry about it.
So at 70, do you think that at 70 you start thinking, I wonder if you have a countdown mentality? Like, seriously, like, I wonder if you're like, well, I probably have 10 years left or 50, you know, like, I wonder.
That's a good question.
So my dad is 80, 82 or something, and I've been getting these phone calls from him going, well, I could go any day now, and
That's what you said on the one episode. He's got the helium tank.
Yeah, but now he's not talking about healing. I mean, now he's just talking about, I could just fall asleep and die, and...
I don't even need to waste the helium tank. Save it for you. I'll put it in your will.
Put it in the will. It's part of your estate.
It's funny because you told me about that and I had no idea about it. And
Did you Google it?
No, but I was talking to Karsten about it a couple nights ago for some reason. And he's like, wait, that's a thing? Why don't we have helium tanks? He's like, I don't want to be a vegetable. Like, if I can easily off myself with a helium tank, let's do it. I'm like, I'm on board.
I know. We should sell them.
Please sponsor us, helium tanks.
Brought to you by Helium.
The helium tanks of America. So she's turning 70 in COVID. For her 60th, I did a birthday party here and we made her a book and everything. And it was kind of special. And in my mind, before COVID, I'm like, for her 70th, because it's in the winter, maybe we'll go to Banff or something and rent a house. I don't know, just do something. 70 is a big deal, but obviously we can't do any of that. So my sister had this brilliant idea of making a video. So we just had a bunch of people like send clips wishing her happy birthday, and I'm a video editor now, so
Yeah, you do a good job.
no, well, I'm learning and it's not that good, but whatever. It's better than like not having a video.
So here's a question for you, talking about birthdays. How important How important were presents to your mom? Like, is she somebody who is thinking, oh, I'm going to turn 70. That means I'm going to have all these presents. Like, is that a thing for her?
I don't think so. Like, I was talking to my sister about it actually today because, and this has come up a lot recently because Christmas just passed and stuff too. And I find there's certain people that really enjoy giving and receiving gifts. And then there's people that like don't put a lot of importance on gifts. They have other things that are important to them. And it got me thinking about love languages because my sister always gives like gifts for Christmas, birthdays, everything, even if it's something small. And then I started thinking, oh my God, that's because that must be her love language. And I put some thought into it, and it absolutely is. And it's absolutely not mine.
So because it's her love language, does that mean that she likes to give gifts or get gifts? Like,
I think
what does that mean?
the way that love languages work, I think, is it goes both ways. So the reason people run into issues is because let's say you and I are in a relationship, which we are, friendship.
And I got you a present.
Exactly. And I didn't get you one because I don't give a shit about gifts. My thing is acts of service. So I do things for you, like edit our podcast. Just kidding. No,
This is like a marriage. Holy shit.
How you can run into issues though is if your love language is gifts, you love giving them, but you also kind of want to receive them because you're like, that's how you show you love me. So if your partner's not giving you gifts, you're thinking, well, they don't love me or they don't love me the way. Whereas your partner's love language might be acts of service. So I'm constantly filling your car up with gas and cooking you dinner. But to you, that's not what you need.
Okay, so it's your birthday and you're in a relationship. You are in a relationship. What is it? And I really want to say, what is it that you expect? What is it that would make you disappointed if you didn't get?
It's not a gift. I don't I like a card mostly for the acknowledgement to know you went out of your way to like go do something for me. This year, actually, Carson's card, because he knows how I feel about cards. He doesn't care about cards. This year, he usually gets me a nice one and writes like something really nice in it. But this year was just weird. We were busy and stuff, and it was COVID, so. His card was like just a black card that said, I got you a card. And on the inside, it said, this is the inside of it. And he just like loved Karsten. And I actually really enjoyed that because I like appreciated his humor behind it.
And he still had to go and get it.
He still had to go and get it.
Whatever.
What I care about on my birthday is like spend time with me. Like like this year we took the kids out for dinner. And then on the weekend, everything wasn't shut down at that point. So we like a few of us went for a nice dinner, and that was, I'm like, perfect. Like spend the day with me. Clean up a mess in the house, like do the dishes, you know, like do like those little things. I'm like, oh, he's doing that because it's my birthday. You know, like do something you wouldn't normally do.
So something that I see a lot with women is that there's an expectation of like, okay, I don't know if you do this, or you know people who do it, so you know your birthday's coming up, but you don't say anything. It could be your birthday or it could be an anniversary, and you don't say anything, and you're like, and you almost anticipate the whole, he's not going to remember, and then you do the whole, he doesn't love me, it's my birthday, and so like to avoid that, I always go, I do a countdown, like 5 days till my birthday, 4 days, and then it's like, okay, it's my birthday week, it's the week of my birthday.
You have enough notice, like, so do you do that because so what do you, like, you want a gift?
Okay, I do it because I feel like I need my birthday acknowledged. And I think the reason that I do that, I don't have to do that with Greg. Greg is like, if I never told him my birthday, he's that guy who he would know, like he would make it a priority to make sure that he knew it was my birthday. I would never have to remind him. But when I was married to my ex-husband, he did not find birthdays important. And so I would do things like plan massive surprise parties and scavenger hunts. And like I would do crazy things for his birthday. And it was always an acknowledgement and a homemade cake and like a love letter. And like I was like overboard, and he would just not acknowledge my birthday.
Then you would get constantly disappointed on your birthday.
So there were a few years that I did that. Whole thing was like, he's not remembering my birthday. And I'm like, okay, fuck that. That's not happening anymore. I'm going to give him a reminder for the full month that it's my birthday, but it still generally didn't work. And he still did nothing for my birthday. We're not married anymore. I wonder why. But I need it to be acknowledged.
Yeah.
Like, and that acknowledgement to me means, you know what, you're important.
Yeah.
And so whatever that means. And so for my kids now, my kids are adults. What I want for my birthday is time spent.
Yeah.
So my Johnny will say to me, I owe you one obligation, which means.
So what would that be?
So when he was little, it would be like, okay, we're going to ride 30 kilometers on our bikes together. And nowadays it'll be like, he'll take me hiking, like, fine.
Yeah.
I'm hiking with you, Mom. Like, that's your
Yeah.
obligation. So it's almost like, okay, I owe you one obligation. You can make me do whatever you
Yeah.
want with you.
Yeah.
And to me, like, that is the best gift ever. Just spending
So time, quality time is that your love language, you think?
It is, and I would do the same thing with Greg for his birthday. Like, I'll say, okay, I'm not going to buy you any gifts, and then we do things like I would plan things for the full day. Like, we're going to see some stupid movie that he likes. We're going to go out for lunch in a place that he likes. We're going to go to the shooting range and shoot guns.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like,
Stuff for him.
stuff for him.
Totally.
And that's the kind of stuff that I like.
That's how I am too. Like,
Yeah.
actually, even on Christmas, like, unwrapping a gift is like really good if it's something that I love. You know, when you get that gift or you give that gift that the person's like, oh my God, I wanted this.
Yeah.
But how often are you just buying a gift because you know that they got you one and you have to get them something? So you go and get like a gift set or like a bottle of wine or whatever. And it's like appreciated.
Yeah.
But like sometimes you do that just because you know you should. But I'm like, for me, I would rather like I'm an acts of service person. That's like how I show love.
So do you feel resentment when you have to buy a gift for somebody because you like I feel
It depends.
I feel resentful.
Yeah,
for sure.
I do. It does depend on the situation because sometimes I really like giving gifts. Like,
Yeah.
you know, if one of my friends has a baby, the
for
first thing I want to
sure.
do is run out and get like a
Yeah.
nice like little outfit for it and bring them flowers. Like, to me, that's like not at all an inconvenience or
Yeah.
anything. I love doing that. But when it's like Christmas and you know, like, you have to get a little something for the daycare workers. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's
Okay,
actually a shitty thing to say,
It's
but it's like
not.
annoying.
Okay, so for instance, Christmas, my niece and nephew have everything.
Yeah.
So we're talking like they're 12 and 10 years old. And so every year I rack my brain, what can I get you? So like last year for their birthday, I gave them $50 each and they literally just opened up a drawer and threw it in a drawer full of money going, I'll put this in the money drawer. And I'm like, okay, that wasn't good. And it doesn't, like, these kids have absolutely everything, but you have to get them a gift. And I feel the resentment there.
I like people to get my kids because my kids have a lot of stuff too.
Yeah.
They don't need more toys. I'm like, experiences, get them movie passes, take them somewhere.
Yeah.
Even like pick them up and take them to the park for an hour. Like, that could be your
but
gift.
That's your present.
But they enjoy it too, right? And like,
Yeah.
let's say my sister did it. That's like time with their aunt. And like, for me, gifts don't need to be about money. I don't care. It's like, for me, it's more about like the thought that goes into it. If that happens to be, I heard you talking about this Fitbit and yours broke, so I got you one. Like, that's perfect. Like, those kind of gifts are good.
Yeah.
But if you get somebody, I don't know, a wine glass when they have 40 wine glasses already, and it's just like you got it for the sake of getting it. You spend $50 on this special wine glass, and they now, you know, it's nice. But it's just kind of like, what is the point? It's like, we're such consumerist society. Like,
And I know, and it is a point. And sometimes I'll go shopping, going, what the fuck am I going to buy? And you spend all day because you're thinking, well, I'm not spending more than $40 on this person I don't even like.
Yeah. Or
And then
that's
you can't find anything.
and then you're like thinking, okay, well, what would they like this, or what would they use this for? Like,
Yeah.
are they the kind of person? Have I ever heard them talk about bath bombs? Like, you know, do they even have a bathtub? And it's like, I don't know. Like, if that's where I'm like, for me to show, like, I'll just go hang out with you. I'll pick you up and drive you somewhere that I don't know, and your car's broken. Like, those are the kind of things I'll babysit your kid. Like,
Well, you know, I think that we are the same that way because there's nothing really that people could buy me that I'd be over the moon about unless you're Like what?
Most of the time, if I want something, I just usually go get it.
So for my birthday this year, you can go hiking with me.
I would love to. I will. Let's do it. It's a date. Actually, I can think of a couple gifts that I've gotten that are very good. Like I went through this phase where I was obsessed with Moscow mules. The phase actually has never ended. But I'm like, I really want copper mugs, and I was having a hard time finding them, or maybe I just didn't want to spend the money. And for my birthday, my sister got me a set, and then my friend Jess got me a set too. So now I have like 6 copper mugs. So it's like, sweet.
We should have Moscow mules.
I could actually easily make us some right now. Oh no, I don't have any ginger beer. We used it all up.
Oh, you suck.
Speaking of booze, should we pour some wine?
Yeah.
We can keep talking and
Okay,
I'll pour
so
wine.
I wanted to say something else about presents. And so my mom is one of those people who decides like her love language is definitely presents. And so as a kid and even now, the amount of money you spend on her is the amount of love that you show for her. So if you buy her a $500 dishwasher, which, like my brothers bought her, or, bought her a new transmission for her car that she's wrecked, then the response is always, oh, I'll never forget this. I love you so much. And if you buy her a gift that is undervalued, well, first of all, every gift that you buy her, she's going to return. So you have to include the price. You have to include the receipt, the gift receipt with everything that you give her. And
what is the point of that? Like, why does she actually enjoy receiving gifts then? If she's gonna,
she enjoys getting the gift because it shows that you love her.
Because you spent a amount of money on her.
Yes, and so if you spent $20 on her, then
you only love her like
you love her $20.
A McDonald's meal.
Yeah. You love her $20.
That's how much McDonald's costs.
And if you spend $500, then holy shit, like you really love her. Now I have memories, childhood memories of say, like I remember one year. Do you remember when Woolco was a thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so I went to Woolco and I am like 11 years old and I work as a babysitter, so I make $1 an hour, $2 an hour, whatever I make. And I went to Woolco and I bought her a lipstick. Now it wasn't just like the 99 cents lipstick. It was like one of the really expensive ones, which in the day maybe it was $8 or $9, And I wrapped up this lipstick and I put it under the tree. And I still remember that when she opened it, she went, $1 lipstick, and then put it away. Like that was her. And this is an 11-year-old child.
Your child. Oh, that breaks my heart.
Do you know what I mean? And it was like, and her response was, you don't love me enough. And I'm like, and then to me that was like a note to self to make sure that I bought better presents.
So did you have that with other people too? Then you assumed that you had to spend money on people to have them love you?
Yes.
Like, did that transfer?
It absolutely did, and it actually transferred to a complete anxiety about any time I had to buy a gift. And the reason I did that, and I sort of just figured this out recently, is that I think I told you before that I had this total hate on for Christmas. I hated Christmas, and I really feel like one of the reasons why I hated it was that I felt that every person that I gave a gift to, they were going to judge how much. I didn't understand it on a this level. I just didn't know why I felt so anxious. But I would overbuy every gift.
Yeah.
So if we said, "Oh, we're all going to spend $20 on a gift," well, I would buy $50 gifts. So that
That's such a dick move.
So that I didn't get the response of, whatever. You know what I mean?
So have you gotten over that?
So much resentment. And I think that in my life, I went through that where I said, I don't want any Christmas presents ever again. And I'm not buying, like I went through that phase. I'm only making homemade presents. So I did that.
Like what, macaroni necklaces?
No, like baking and macaroni. What's wrong with macaroni necklaces, Amanda? You're a bitch.
I'm returning the one you made me. It's trash.
You know what? I even painted your macaroni necklaces in those beautiful colors. So yeah, I think that I did get over it, but I hardly buy anybody gifts anymore.
We are not. I actually really appreciate that Karsten's similar to me in the gift thing. Like it's not his love language either.
Yeah.
So like this year, just because of COVID and stuff, we're like, you know what? I don't want to go shopping for you. We buy so much. What do you think of the wine?
I like it.
Yeah, it's good. Karsten's mom just gave me this bottle today. She opened it and said, I don't really like it. Do you guys want this? I said, well, I'll always take wine.
Monica's coming over.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. But yeah, so we said, I don't want to go shopping. I don't want to do the whole thing. Because we usually fill each other's stockings and that's it. Because again, like whatever, we've bought so much stuff recently. Like what would just call those our gifts, you know? So, but this year I'm like, you don't need to go to the mall and wander the mall and find $100 worth of stuff to stick in a stocking for me. Like, I don't care. And he's like, are you sure? I'm like, no, absolutely. Because I don't really want to do it either. So on the Christmas morning, the kids opened their presents. I actually got him some Fireball because I saw a bunch at the liquor store in like a candy cane thing. And I thought it was funny. But like, that was literally like,
you know, as we're talking about this, I'm thinking, you know what? I don't think I'm over it. Like, I probably spent $100 on each of my kids' stockings, and Amanda wasn't even around for Christmas.
How did you mail her?
I mailed it. Like, I mailed it. But Johnny came over and he's just like unwrapping all this shit. Like, you know, it's expensive underwear and socks and it's tools and it's just this endless thing. And he's just like, thanks, Mom. And for him, he's like, what do you want for Christmas? And I tell him and he buys it.
Yeah. Well, but the thing is like, you could have, like, I'm not saying don't get your kids gift, but you could have like saved that money, bought yourself whatever it was that you wanted, and like you still would have hung out with him, eaten dinner, had a good time. Like for me, Christmas.
No, but I think I do show my love. Like, it's funny because there was a good many years when I couldn't afford a whole lot. And now that I can, I'm just like, I want Christmas to be this happy, happy time because it wasn't for me.
I understand that way of thinking. And like, especially like Christmas is about the kids. So I told myself that like our kids do not need a million gifts. Like they don't need them. So I didn't get my kids a lot this year. I knew they were getting stuff from like family members or whatever. So, but the tree looked so bare. Like a couple days before Christmas, I'm like, I feel like I need to go get them more because I'm like, it's just so beautiful with like presents. And, you know, like it's so stupid. I went to the dollar store, but they were so happy. Like board games from the dollar store, books from the dollar store. You wrap them each individually. And they're reading the books. They're playing the board games. It's not like a toy that's going to break. Right? I don't know. Like, Christmas, like, and just the whole idea of like, buying things and then it ends up in the garbage, all these cheap plastic toys. I just don't like it. I don't know.
I agree.
Like hang out with your kids and spend time with them. But it's hard when you are in a relationship, whether it's a friendship, family, or like a husband, and you're not on the same page when it comes to like how you show your love or how you like, so
so many, like, I keep talking about all the groups that I'm on. So many people over Christmas were saying, what do you think? I bought my boyfriend A, B, and C, and he bought me nothing. And there's so much of that. So many people saying that they were disappointed. And I just, like, you need to have those conversations.
What about stuff like Mother's Day and Father's Day? That's a good one. Because I've got a few friends who, on Mother's Day comes and goes. And it's like,
I didn't get anything.
I didn't get anything. I still did everything for the kids. I didn't even get to sleep in. And then Father's Day comes and they do everything and, give a blowjob and a freaking steak dinner.
The thing is you're training them. So if you just shut up and gently wait for them to do something for you. So for Mother's Day, I'm always like, it's Mother's Day. I get my obligation today.
Yeah.
And then my kids would be like, oh, okay. So I would still plan everything, but I said,
we're
going.
Put a smile on your face and come hiking.
Yes.
Pretend you like this.
Like I would do things like we're gonna go for a long bike ride, and then we're gonna have a fire, a campfire. We're gonna do a wiener roast.
Yeah.
Like I would make it fun.
Yeah.
But I would make it something that was about me.
Yeah. And I absolutely agree with that too. I have a really shitty story about myself for Father's Day. Like it was one of Karsten's first Father's Day. I had it totally planned. Like I was gonna make him breakfast, everything. Like I feel like only Colton was around at the time, or maybe Kenna was like a baby, so it was like a while ago. We had a neighbor day party the night before. It was like,
and you got too drunk to do anything.
It was one of the worst hangovers I've ever had in my life. Like, so I was like just chugging wine. I was like, literally could not get out of bed until like 3 p.m. the next day, and we were supposed to go to my parents' house for a barbecue. So I'm so sorry. Like he had to wake up with the kids, and like when they're babies, you like have to wake up with them and do everything for them. So we had to wake up with them, do everything. I was like in bed dying, and then we like were going to my parents' house, and I'm like, I can't drive. Like you have to drive, and I'm sitting in the passenger seat like asleep, and then I made him pull over on the drive so I could puke, and then we get to my parents, and I'm sleeping on the couch the whole time. I'm like, this is Father's Day, and I'm like, what? I am such a piece of shit.
You really are. And you know what? That reminds me of another time that you were a piece of shit.
Oh, God. Which time?
Hey, no, but you weren't really a piece of shit. I just remember that time that you were drinking. It could have been Stampede, and then I got into the office and you were sleeping under your desk.
Yeah, that was we had a Stampede party at work. I got like
Do you remember Stampede parties? Oh my God.
Remember when we used to be able to see people and do things? Yeah. But I like drove into work the next morning. I should not have been driving. Like as soon as I got to my desk, I remember like sitting there and like looking, and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna sit down for a minute. So I like went down to the floor, and then I just like laid down, and then I was like, yeah, no, I can't get up. Like I won't get up.
Didn't your boss, our boss, come in and just go, Amanda, you need to go home?
Well, at first she thought I wasn't in the office because like you couldn't see me. I was like sleeping, and I'm like, I'm not trying to, like, I remember at one point being like, I'm not trying to hide. I just can't get up. So she like came in like I got there at like 7:15 maybe. I was there quite early. People start rolling in around like 9. I think she came in my office and she's like, you can go home if you want to, right? And I was like, yeah, I know. I'm just not sure I can actually get up right now. And I literally stayed there till 11:30 and then I drove myself home. So I was like, what? Like, I obviously took a vacation day, if anybody's wondering. I didn't get paid for this. But like, what a piece of shit. Oh my God.
Do you think you have a problem?
Well, yeah, this was years ago. I haven't been hungover like that in a long time. That's when you like, that's when you get into the wine and like that. Those are those nights.
Like I think we've had this discussion before. I can drink, like I often on the weekends, I just drink whiskey. But if I drink wine, like if I go past that one, like if we share a bottle of wine and then I say, hey, let's open up another bottle, I'm fucked.
I know.
Like I could be 2, 3, 4, I'll just keep on drinking. And then after 2 bottles, like I am not getting up the next day. I am a miserable, horrible person.
I haven't had a hangover like that in a while, and it's brutal. I had way too many of those. Like my poor kids would just like watch TV all day, and me and Carson are just in bed. Like, what kind of parents do that? Like
bad ones.
Call child services. Anyways, let's see what the fucks we have.
All right. Time for our favorite segment, wine and
what the fuck?
All right.
What do you got?
This is really serious, so I want you to put on your really serious face, okay?
Okay.
My husband really wants to try anal. Again.
Okay.
But I absolutely can't get into it. Every time we've done it, it's so painful. Any suggestions? I know lots of lube and starting out with small toys, but how do you actually get in the mood for something that you don't enjoy?
You have to be like super into it anyways, so I suggest like do you actually want to do it, or would you just be doing it to make him happy? Those are
the answer to that. She says,
but if you are turned on enough and in the right kind of mood, it could work.
Okay.
It could.
Should she have anal when she doesn't want to?
Well, no, absolutely, of course not.
Well, so it sounds to me like she's only doing it because he wants to.
Isn't that like the story of like so many
every guy who wants to do anal? I'm saying that most women don't enjoy anal.
Anal is the worst. It's terrible. But I gotta say, there's times when you're like super like in the mood because you're like already doing other stuff.
You're already horny.
Where
and
you're a little bit open to it.
And then you're like, okay, let's.
And then you do it and regret it instantly.
Yeah,
but
then you're like, what the fuck?
But there are some people who do enjoy it, and I think a lot of it has to do with the size of the penis.
Like if it's really small?
Yes. Or like medium size. Like you can't do it if you have a big penis. Like it will hurt too much. I don't know, like the whole like little toys things. Like I have a couple friends who've been talking about this recently. Like you do like a butt plug and then have sex at the same time, and apparently it's like amazing.
Which I think the whole idea then is so if you think of the vagina, it like would push the vagina wall closer, right? And so that's the idea behind that. But that's okay. Having a butt plug in and having sex is not the same thing.
It's not?
No, as having anal.
No, I absolutely agree with you. I'm just because she seems like she's like why doesn't she just tell him no? Like it almost seems like she wants to kind of like try out some ideas to like see how she could do it.
Well, she's saying, how should I do this when I don't really enjoy it? I say you just don't do it. I mean, if you've tried it and you hate it, I mean,
why do guys like it so much? Like, I think guys just want to.
Do you think it's just the dirtiness?
I think so.
It's like,
because from what I've heard, once they get through that first little bit, it's like an empty cavern. Like, it's not tight the whole way.
Oh, I've heard it's like, oh my God, it's so tight.
No.
In my experience.
Not the whole time, though. Once they get through, because, like, you think about, it's not like there's this long, like, vagina that it's in. Like, I've, like, listened to a lot of shit about it, and, like, I don't know. I'm, like, super educated.
And when it comes to anal?
I'm actually absolutely not. I fucking hate it. It's because Carson... We might have to edit some of this. But anyways, I think that a lot of guys are just like, they like to say they did it. They want something different. It's kind of like, you know, they need to switch it up.
Yeah. Like they've done everything. They've put it in all the other holes.
Yeah. They just want to do it. And I don't know, feel powerful or cool and strong. And I don't know.
I don't know. I think it is a thing I think that it's something that most guys like. And I'm maybe that's simplified. Maybe not all guys like it. Let us know. Do you like anal? And how many, like, have you ever heard of a woman, like, have you ever had a girlfriend that said, man, do I love the anal?
I know people who like butt stuff, but maybe not so much with, like, full on, like, sex.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Because, like, there is nerve endings in there, and, like...
But I think men have nerve endings in there. Like, that's the prostate's there, and, like... We've talked about that before, but for a woman, like maybe there's some feeling around the outside, but
you're pretty much just doing it because, like, sometimes it's like when you give a blowjob, you're doing it because, like, turning somebody on, it turns you on. So, like, that would be what would be good about it. Is like you know you're giving pleasure to the person, but the thing also is, like, if he just wants it so bad and, like, won't leave you alone about it, and you really don't want it, it's like, what the hell, like, leave her alone. Like, if I keep asking, maybe she'll say yes. Like, what does that say about you? You're kind of a dick.
Okay, at the same time, if I have a partner who really wants to try anal, I'm probably gonna make it work. I'm just gonna go, okay, let's do anal. Like, let's take the mystery out of this one, and, like, okay, then I'm like, and then I get to do anal on you. Because isn't that fair?
Exactly, that's right. You're like, okay, so tit for tat, like, for however long it's inside of me for. We're gonna time this.
I'm gonna go get the carrots.
Totally.
Oh my God, that's so gross.
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. It's hard to give that, like, advice for that kind of stuff because, like, you're not there. You don't know the whole situation. Like, I'd say if he's pushing you, then, like, that's a whole different issue. But if he just really wants to do it and you're, like, willing to give it a try, I would say make sure you're, like, super turned on. Like, be in the middle of sex already. Like, be very, very, like, good to go, if you catch my drift.
Yeah.
And lots of lube. Go really slow. Have a safe word.
That's great advice.
I don't know. Start with the little toys. Like, they sell lots of little toys you could start with.
Unless his penis is really small, then just start with that.
If its penis is small, just shove her in there. Just do it. Like, don't even use lube.
You might even not even feel it if it's small enough.
I think she's probably tried it before and she doesn't like it, though. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like, and it's not meant to go in there. That's not the point of it. Like, I don't know. I don't see the appeal personally, but I don't ever want to, like, kink shame or whatever because people are into their things. And
do you have any kinks?
We've talked about this before. I think I'm pretty vanilla. I need to get some new kinks. You got any suggestions?
Diapers? Oh, no, that's not a good one. Like, we did talk about feet.
Yeah, fetishes. Yeah, no, I just want to get off. I don't really.
Yeah, you're just like, okay, this will take me 2 minutes.
Yeah, like, I'm like, let's get to the point and move on with our day.
Good to go. You know, some women don't come at all. You know, like that's a thing. Can you imagine not?
That's a really interesting conversation. There's lots of people who, like, lots of women, I bet, who don't, especially older generation women. Oh my God, I've got a story.
Okay, tell me.
So embarrassing.
Oh, even better.
back to the I'm wasted. I was at a friend's wedding a couple summers ago.
Yeah.
And we're sitting around a fire at the end of the night, and I don't remember this conversation. Like, I remember bits and pieces of it, but it was at the point, like, I had way too much to drink. I should have been in bed. But from what I've heard from people, I'm talking to the groom's mom.
Oh my.
About having sex and blah, blah, blah. And it was something like, oh, well, you know, Amanda, I've only ever slept with, I was about to say the guy's name, but blah, blah, blah's groom's dad.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, like, how often do you have orgasms? Or something like that. Or like, apparently my friend said something about like, how often do you get off? Or like it was like super crude. I said to her, like, so you're telling, like, pretty much what I was getting at is like, you're telling me you've only ever slept with this man and you're like an older woman. Like, do you actually have orgasms is what my brain was.
And what was the answer? Do you remember?
Of course, I don't remember any of this. Like, I barely even remember like talking to this woman. My friend said she doesn't know like what she said. Apparently she was like really drunk too and just laughed it off. So I don't think I actually got an answer, but it's actually an interesting, it's a fucking stupid thing to say to like an older lady.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
But not to all older ladies.
But
sometimes they'll surprise you.
But in my brain, like, I do wonder these things. Like, if you got together, let's say, you know, somebody in their 50s or 60s gets together with somebody in their early 20s and they just start having sex and they're the, like, I don't know what kind of people these people are. If you're super closed off, let's say you're very religious, you don't talk about sex with your friends, you just like, well, this is what sex is. Okay. Like, you never watch porn, whatever, right? There is a very high chance that you've never had an orgasm.
Okay, so here's my very intimate personal story. So when I was with my ex-husband, he didn't like to have sex, right? So if you are having sex with someone and it's a burden to have sex, like I don't think that the whole time I was with him that I ever had an orgasm during sex.
Oh,
right?
You didn't use toys or anything?
Well, if, like, I think I've blocked most of it, but I do remember that 90% of the time I would just finish it myself.
Like after? Or
after.
Like when he was like asleep?
Like, okay, I'm done. Like, sex usually went like this. Sorry. Like, it was like we had sex so
But so
rarely.
when you finished yourself off, was he aware you were doing it, or was he asleep?
Yeah. Like, he totally didn't care.
So you would, like, would he still be, like, inside you, or he had already, flopped
I'd
out?
be like, okay, well, I'm going to the shower to finish this
Oh,
off.
I see, okay.
You know what I mean? And there's such a frustration when it comes to that. But so then because of that, like, if he had ever tried to have sex with me, like oral sex or whatever, I couldn't come because there's this anxiety. There's this anxiety about I have to come fast. I have to come. Like, he doesn't want to do this. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I totally know what you mean. I used to, like, with my ex, I didn't really ever let him go down on me because it was that. Like, I was like, I don't want this pressure.
Yeah, there's too much pressure.
They, like, enjoy doing it, but in my head, I'm like, I'm taking
But
too
not
long.
everybody does, and he didn't. Like, I did not feel that he wants to do this.
You can tell he is, like, sleeping down there. Like, his head's laying on your leg.
He's like,
yeah.
Okay, so then when I got together with Greg, I know this is too much information. He's like, I'm like, okay, well, I gotta tell you right now, like, it could take 2 hours. Like,
it's really hard for me to come.
Yes, I don't know how long this is gonna take. And he's like, oh, I don't care, I could do it all day. And that was his response, like, I could do it all day. Like, I enjoy this.
So you let him do it all day.
So I let him do it all day. And as soon as you relax and you're like, well, I don't have to hurry this up. Like, now I can
happens.
seriously come in 30 seconds now. Like, now it's just like, he's got
knows
all the
his
buttons
moves,
down.
yeah.
He's just got to do this. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
And so I think that women who've had the type of relationship that I had, like, if you're in a relationship with someone who's like, don't really want to do that, you're not going to come.
And I think, like, in those guys' defense too, like, they don't always really know what to do, and like, communication's huge, and if you have never had lots of, like,
there's so much that goes on
there is, and it's like, if you always were like, okay, well, sex is like, stick it in, pump for a few minutes, he comes, she rolls over, and like, part of sex, like I was listening to this one podcast, like, the Girls Gotta Eat one. It's like a sex podcast. They talk about, like, a ton of sex. And, like, the the one girl who's like always fucking different guys is like, I don't actually need to come every time I have sex. And I found that really shocking, but like I do sort of get it because I will never have sex and not come. I don't see the point now. But there has been times in my younger years where I'm like, I don't really care. Like, this is just fun. Like, it does feel good. You don't.
Okay, so this is the reason why I've never had a one night stand. Why I would never go, oh, I'm just gonna fuck that guy, because I would never be able to come. So if I can't come,
What's the point?
Then am I just somebody's cum bag?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I'm thinking. I'm just going to have sex with you so you can come. Like, no.
Yeah, what am I getting out of this?
Yeah.
No, I absolutely understand what you're saying.
Like, and I know there's like, okay, like the best part about like a new relationship or whatever is that lead up and that leaning in to kiss and all of that. But if you're having a one night stand and you meet someone and they're really sexy and stuff, like I get the feeling of wanting to have sex with them, but I think no.
But it also is kind of exciting to make somebody come to, I would suppose. Like, not that I've had a one night stand, but like, you know, that like, that anticipation of like what you're doing to somebody, and if it's like a stranger, like I could see the appeal.
I do.
I
see
could
the
maybe
appeal.
do that a few times before I was like, okay, my turn.
Yeah.
Like, how about I come and you just go home? But it's a lot harder to make a girl come, and like a lot of guys like don't know what they're doing.
And I don't think I don't think that it's very easy to. A woman has to be able to relax in order to come. Like, you can't.
You have to get out of your head.
You got to get out of your head. Exactly. So I don't know. Can you do that with a one night stand? Like, maybe.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
Yeah, I don't know. It really has to depend on the guy too, and how comfortable he makes you and all that stuff, right? Like, I'm sure that there could be situations where, I don't know. Tell us, guys. One night stands. Do you come?
Not the guys. We all know you come.
Yeah.
But women, like, how often does a woman come in a one night stand, and how often do you leave that experience going, yes, that was fantastic?
Or do you care that you didn't get off? Like, do you just get the thrill from like what you did?
Okay, I think there's a thrill. Okay, I do understand the thrill of having someone go, oh my God, you're so hot, I really want you. But then to me, I'm like, check mark, done. Like, that's all I need.
Yeah, and then just leave. Like, this is essentially my one night stand. That's all I needed. I just needed you to tell me I'm good.
I just needed you to stroke my ego, and now we're good.
I need the approval, and I'll see you later.
Weren't gonna make me come anyways, so now you can masturbate to me later. We're both good.
Yeah, it's so funny. Yeah. That's funny. One night stands are weird. Have you
had one?
No, because I've like been in relationships. Like, I'm a relationship person. I went from
know.
my ex to Karsten. So here I am. Unless me and Karsten break
Just two?
up.
Two.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, there's like a half in there. I cheated on my ex one time.
2.5.
But
Does
like,
that mean it only got in halfway?
It was in for like 2 pumps, and I was like, ah! And I like was like, I can't do this, and I like had major guilt. Like, I was 19 years old or something, right? And I felt so guilty. I was like, oh.
We don't count 2 pumps as sex.
That's what I think. I say half, and then people are like, that's a full. It was in, and I'm like, whatever. I don't even know the guy's name. Literally, it was like, I guess that is a one night.
I tried to have sex once with this boy, and I was like,
This
12.
boy?
Yeah, I was 12. So this is
Monica.
okay. I did have sex when I was 12.
I know.
I did,
With
but before that, I tried to have sex with somebody else at 12. Like, I just wanted to get this done, right?
12 is so young. It gives me such anxiety to think of.
But
like,
why? Why would that give you anxiety?
Because I have children that are like not that far away from 12.
So, okay, so if your 12-year-old is having sex with another 12-year-old, like why would that give you anxiety?
Are you fucking crazy right now?
No, I'm serious.
A 12-year-old, sex does so many things to their brain, and there's no way a 12-year-old is emotionally ready. Are you saying that having sex at 12 is good?
I'm saying I had sex at 12 and look at me.
Holy fuck.
Okay, no, seriously. I don't have an issue with my 12-year-old daughter trying to have sex with a 12-year-old boy.
You don't?
No. Like why? Like, we're talking about sexuality, right? And about finding yourself. You didn't have sexual feelings at 12?
I did. Like, 12 is what, grade 7? I had like crushes on boys and stuff, but like the idea of getting, okay, because sex for a boy and sex for a girl are different, and like what it does to your brain. Like, I don't want my 12-year-old girl having those like, does he love me?
But if you're experimenting with another 12-year-old, you're both so immature. There's no manipulation. That's the way that I see it.
But it could be too. Like you don't know. Like, there's so many factors. Like, you're thinking in like this perfect bubble of like two emotionally intelligent, like the same level children, but like
I'm thinking two mostly unintelligent children who are just like, yeah, I just want to try this.
And then, okay, they tried it once. They tell their friends it's like kind of fun. The boy got to come. The girl obviously didn't. She's probably dry as a bone. It hurt like a bitch.
Yeah.
She's like,
yeah,
sex was weird. I don't know. But
is
does he
stupid.
like me?
I'm
Like,
never
it's
doing
funny.
it
He's
again.
never called me again. And then he's like, well, I've already done it. Like, I'm going to do it with this girl and this girl. And
well, you're making assumptions because that's
going to happen.
That same story can happen when you're 16 or 17.
But that's exactly right. And a 12-year-old should not be dealing with that.
Okay, but you can't prevent it.
Yes, 12?
Yeah. How can you prevent it? You gonna tell your daughter not to?
Yes.
Don't do that.
I am going to hang out with my kids every minute so they don't have time.
Do you know why? Like, so my mom was like, okay, so my mother was like severely religious, and so she'd say to me, like, I think I remember having tried and have a conversation with her about sex, like, like, what would happen if, you had sex with a boy? And she just said, if you have sex with somebody, I'll know, and you're going to hell.
And then you did it, and she didn't know, and you're like, there is no hell.
there was a little bit of like, well, I'm gonna have sex then and see if you know. Do you know what I mean?
I do understand that.
Now, had her response been, sex doesn't really feel good for a woman until she's 18 or 19, because it doesn't feel good when you're 12. You're not ready.
I'm not saying that I'm going to tell my kids not to do it because Like, that's, I'm definitely going to be very open. I already am. Carson actually told me the other day I'm too open with our kids.
No.
Yeah.
You're not open. No, you're not too open.
Thank you. He says I talk to them like they're adults and I need to dumb things down a little bit sometimes. And I said, absolutely not. I refuse to change because it makes me fucking crazy when people dumb things down for their kids. So I'll tell you the story, actually. This is just like a side note.
Tell me the story.
Colton was acting insane. Like, he was bouncing off the walls. It was right before bedtime. He was like literally like bouncing off, like, I'm not even kidding, like on the couch into the wall, on the couch onto the floor, rolling around. And I'm like, Colton, like, enough. Like, we had told him like probably 6 times, like, it's bedtime, like, buddy, like, calm down. Like, and he was like, just shaking and like so hyper. So it got to the point I was like, buddy, you need to calm down. Like, if you don't understand how to like read a room, and like when everybody because even Kenna was like, Colton, enough. Cause he like just wasn't, he was like annoying everybody.
Well, she was just reading what you said.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if you're the kind of person that can't read a room and you're annoying everybody in the room, nobody's gonna want to spend time with you. I know. I had a feeling that you were gonna give me shit for this too, because I think you have before. But I'm like, so afterwards, because Karsten was like, that was a little harsh. I was like, I don't care. Like, I want him to feel the shame.
Yeah, but the thing is shame doesn't work for children. They just go, their response is, I don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
Like, they don't go, oh, well, next time I'm going to. They just know that I'm shameful.
Fair enough. And actually, now that I'm like remembering our conversation, by the end of it, Carson did have me convinced, because he's like, Colton's a sensitive kid and he's probably going to carry that around with him. And I was like, fuck, you're right. Yeah. So, okay, I do take it back. That was
every time that you need to talk to your children, you need to like call me first. And because like I said, I'm a very sensitive child too. And I remember this shit. Like, I do remember the shit that my mother used to tell me.
But like, fuck, like,
shame doesn't work.
But okay, so what do you like I'm like having a minute here. Shame does work for me. That's how I learned. So it's like, but you're right, because Colton's a sensitive kid, it won't work for him. But like,
how does shame work for you?
Because if somebody tells me, if you behave this way, nobody's going to want to spend time with you, I'll be like, oh, fuck, good point. I shouldn't do that, or I'm going to be that outcast. Because humans are like, we're pack animals. We want to be included in the group.
What he feels is nobody wants to spend time with me.
No.
That's what he feels. So I hope you feel like a piece of shit because
I don't.
You're a piece of shit.
I don't, like, honestly, nobody wants to spend time with a kid who won't shut up and won't listen.
It's true, Amanda, but okay, that part is true.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to tell
He's not going to get invited to birthday
Listen.
parties.
Listen to me, you stupid bitch. Okay. This is what's going to happen. If he's the kid that nobody wants to spend time with, his friends are going to tell him. Everyone's going to tell him.
Yeah,
like, he's going to feel that everywhere, including with you.
So you're saying he needs to feel like love at home.
Yes.
So what do I do?
You need a safe space.
How do I tell him to calm the fuck down?
You just need to give him strategies to calm down. Like, you can't say when you do this, people don't like you, because he feels that. Like, I'm feeling that right now, and I'm so mad at you. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in to It's Really None of Our Business podcast with Monica and Amanda. Make sure you follow us on all social media platforms, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, you know all the places. If you've enjoyed this podcast, tell your friends, and please rate and review us where you can. If you are brave enough to reach out and ask us for advice, we will definitely read it out on our show. We'll totally keep your name anonymous, so what do you got to lose? You can reach us by email at ask.noneofourbusiness@gmail.com. Looking forward to hearing from you guys soon. Ciao.